So if you've been following my videos on how to shoot podcasts, then you know that I use the ATEM Mini Pro ISO for all my podcast productions. And that is because it's a huge time saver in the editing process, especially if you're shooting multiple podcasts every week like I do. But as great as the ATEM Mini Pro ISO is, it still has its downsides. And the biggest downside for most creatives is the fact that it doesn't record 4K resolution. And later on in this video, I'll get into why the ATEM Mini Pro ISO doesn't record 4K resolution. But for now, I'm gonna show you how I get around this so that I still get 4K resolution on my videos while still making use of the live editing function of the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. First, make sure all your cameras are set to record 4K internally. Even though the ATEM Mini Pro ISO only supports HD recording, your cameras should still be recording in 4K resolution on their own memory cards. So in this video, I'm not going to go into detail with how to set up the ATEM Mini Pro ISO for recording because I've already covered that in my other two videos on how to record a podcast using the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. So you can go check out that one and then come back to this one. Once your recording is done, navigate to the ATEM Mini Pro ISO folder, which will contain all the ISO recordings of all the 3 camera angles as separate. You will also have a complete video file of the entire podcast recording and the project file with all your edits in the timeline. So you're going to open your DaVinci Resolve project and it'll load your full Multicam timeline ready to go. Just keep in mind that when you first open this project from the ATEM, it'll use your default project settings. So you might have to change your project settings to 4K if your project settings default to HD like mine. So in your media pool under your master folder, you'll see your ISO recordings and then you'll see the different camera angles from the ISO. And what we're going to do is we're going to color code all the 3 ISO camera angles. Right click and then hover over clip color and then we're going to pick our color. So the first clip I'm going to select orange, then the second clip I'm going to select apricot, and then the third clip I'm going to select yellow. So I'm going to do it in the order that we have it here on DaVinci Resolve so that it's easy for me to remember which one is clip number 1 and which one is clip number 2 and 3 and so forth. So after that we're going to select all 3 camera angle clips, right click and then create new multicam clip using selected clips. And then you're going to get this dialog box over here which will allow you to name your multicam clip and then set angle clip to timecode and angle name to metadata and then click create. So it's important to put the multicam clip in its own bin. So we're going to create a new bin under the ISO bin and then we are going to call it multicam bin. And then you're going to drag and drop your multicam clip into the camera bin. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to enable tab view on timeline so you can view multiple tabs at the same time. And then I'm going to right click on the multicam clip and select open in new timeline. Okay, cool. So we can see all our clips here in the new timeline. This is our multicam timeline. So the clips that are on this multicam timeline that we've just created are still the same ISO clips that are on the original timeline from the ATEM. So let's switch back to the original ATEM timeline. So the current clips that are on the original ATEM timeline are obviously the ISO clips that we were editing during the recording. So we're going to swap them out with the clips on the multicam timeline that we just created. So with the original ATEM timeline selected in the master folder, click timeline menu, select clips with clip color, choose clip color for camera 1, and then you're going to right click on camera 1 clips on the timeline. You can see they're all selected here. And then disable, confirm, lock, enable. And then we go back to the multicam bin, right click on the multicam clip, and then check that the switch multicam video angle has indeed been set to camera 1. And then also do this for the audio. And then we're going to right click on the original ATEM timeline and then go to timelines, select reconform from bins, and then set attempt to reconform to selected clips. And then make sure that this is unselected. And then disable everything under choose conform bins except for the multicam bin. Make sure conform options is set to timecode and source timecode, and then click OK. And then now we've just swapped out all of camera 1 angles in the original ATEM timeline with the camera 1 angle on the multicam timeline. And we can just repeat this process for the other 2 camera angles. And then also remember to change the switch multicam video angle option to camera 2, and then you do the same for camera 3. Okay, now so all of the video clips in the original ATEM timeline have been swapped out with the clips on the multicam timeline. I'm going to show you now why this is important. So this is the best part now, where we're going to be linking our 4K footage from the camera with the timeline that we've edited that currently has the ISO files. So you're going to go to the multicam timeline and create compound clips for each camera angle. So you're going to select the camera angle and then go to clip and then say new compound clip. Now each of these compound clips can be opened in their own timeline, which is where we will link our 4K camera originals to the HD videos from the ISO. So you're going to right click on each compound clip and select open in new timeline. And then once you've done that for all of your camera angles, so now you're going to import your 4K video clips into their own bin under the master folder. And then you're going to line them up with the appropriate camera angle in the compound clip timeline and make sure that they are in sync. So now when we go back to the original ISO timeline, we can see that we have replaced the HD video clips from the ISO with our 4K RAW or log camera originals. Now I'm using B-RAW files, which are video clips from the Blackmagic, but you can import whatever video files that you have, whether depending on the camera that you are using, whether it's S-Log, C-Log, and it will work just the same. So this is great because now we can color grade the clips that are on the timeline using raw or log clips instead of the compressed standard video profile that comes from the ATEM ISO. And now we can work on a 4K timeline, allowing us to crop, zoom in on our video without it pixelating should we need to. And also we can deliver a 4K resolution podcast. Alright, cool. So that's that, and that's how you get 4K resolution videos out of the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. So I know this can seem like a long workaround just to get 4K videos out of the ATEM while still making use of its live editing function. I don't always have to do this because not every podcast that I shoot requires 4K. But if you want to shoot in 4K, then it's not an issue because this process does get quicker once you get a hang of it. But I'm sure the most important question that you have is, why doesn't Blackmagic just add 4K resolution in the ATEM Mini Pro ISO? Especially when other camera switches like the Yellow Box Ultra already have 4K resolution in their ISO recording. So my take on this is that because 4K is 4 times the size of 1080p, and the ATEM Mini has 4 HDMI inputs, so for it to record 4 4K resolution video signals at the same time would probably require a more stronger cooling system than the small fan that it currently has, and maybe some other additional hardware components to ensure a reliable 4K video signal. And honestly, I'm not sure if the SSD drives that are used to record the ISO files are fast enough to record all those 4 4K channels simultaneously. So they would probably need to find a way to record them inside the ATEM. I don't know how the Yellow Box Ultra managed to pull off 4K in their ISO recordings, but I guess that's why the Yellow Box Ultra costs twice as much as the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. So I think that's why Blackmagic hasn't put 4K resolution in the ATEM, because it will make it a bit more expensive. And from a business standpoint, the ATEM was designed to be an entry-level product to get people into camera switches and to introduce them to their brand. And that's the same thing that they did with the Blackmagic Pocket 4K. It was an entry-level cinema camera to get people into their line of cinema cameras. So I hope this video was helpful to you ATEM users out there. And if you have any further questions, you can leave them down in the comments section. And I will see you in the next video.